Me and my team spent the last 5 years building content systems for businesses across over 30 different industries. And in that time, we've learned one thing that most entrepreneurs refuse to believe. You don't need more time to win on social media. You need a better system. In the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to break down how to build a personal brand in 2026, both leveraging AI, but more importantly, in spite of it, and how you can actually prove yourself to be somebody that people want to listen to. As a busy entrepreneur, you never fully switch off. You're harder on yourself than anyone around you, and nobody sees the pressures that you carry. And somewhere in between all of that, you're being told about AI constantly. Every podcast, every post, every conversation, at every event. And you don't even have the time or the headspace to figure out what any of it actually means for you and your business. And on top of all of that, you know you need to be creating content. You know your competitors are posting. You know people with half your ability are building bigger audiences than you. And you know that showing up consistently is what keeps your pipeline full. But content still falls to the bottom of the list because you're busy. You're building something real because there are 100 other things that need your attention before content does. And honestly, I get it. My name's Chris. And for the last 5 years, I've been deep in the content game whilst running multiple businesses at the same time. I know exactly what it feels like to be pulling every lever in the business whilst also knowing that content is the one thing that could change everything, yet still not find a way to make it work consistently. I've worked with businesses across every vertical you can think of. I know this world, and I know the gap between where most entrepreneurs are with their content and where they could be is a system gap. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use AI and the right content system to show up in your audience's feed every single day, consistently, authentically, and without it taking over your life. How to turn a few hours of your month into hundreds of pieces of content reaching millions of people. How to keep your pipeline fed, your authority growing, and your name in front of the right people while you get on with building the business. If you've ever felt like content was the one thing you couldn't crack, this is the video that changes that. You've built something real. You've got a business that works. People depend on you. And yet somehow content keeps getting pushed to the bottom of the list. And I get why. Because every time you think about it, the same wall comes up. People tell you quantity beats quality, post 5 times a day, show up every single day. And you think, where the f am I supposed to find that time? I'm already running on empty. I've got a team to manage, clients to serve, fires to put out. I don't have the headspace to come up with content ideas every single day, let alone figure out where to film, how to film, what to say. And even if you did find the time, you don't have a team to edit it. So content, again, stays at the bottom of your list. Not because you don't know it matters, but because nobody has ever shown you a way to make it work that actually fits your life. Until now. You no longer need to choose between running your business and showing up consistently online. You just need to know how to use the tools and how to set up the system. So let me show you exactly how to do that. First, you need to find your zone of genius. This is where it all starts. Not in front of a camera in your spare bedroom, not forcing yourself to film something that you're not comfortable with. Your zone of genius is wherever you do your best thinking and your best talking. For some people, that's a podcast studio. For others, it's a client call or a meeting environment. And for me, it's both. I know I'm at my best when I'm in a conversation, when I'm coaching someone, where there's another person in the room. So my zone of genius is a podcast studio or a client session. Find yours, and that's where you're going to film. Now, before you go anywhere near that studio, you're going to use AI to do the work that most people skip. You're going to research the 10 topics that are performing best in your niche right now, the conversations people are already having. AI can pull this all together in minutes so that you walk into that session with 10 topics ready to go. Now, here's where the system actually kicks in. You're going to speak on each of these topics for 3 to 5 minutes. Natural, conversational, in your zone of genius. That's 10 pieces of raw content from one session. From each of those 10 pieces, you're going to pull 4 different angles, 4 different clips, 4 different ways to frame the exact same insight. So 10 pieces of content just became 40. Now, instead of posting each of those 40 clips with one hook, you film 3 hook variations for each one. Now your 40 pieces of content just became 120 pieces of content. Now your editor takes 120 clips and produces 3 different edit styles for each one. One with B-roll, one with captions only over the raw clip, and one with a mixture of both. 120 pieces just became 360. 360 pieces of content from 2 hours of you doing what you already do, talking about what you know better than anybody else in your space. Now, let's talk numbers. Let's talk about what this amount of content actually means in today's economy. On average, creators with 10 to 50,000 followers on Instagram get around 9,400 views per reel. But for the sake of this exercise, I'm not going to use that number. I'm going to be conservative. Let's say each one of those pieces of content gets 3,000 views, less than a third of what the data actually says. That's over 1 million people seeing your face and hearing what you have to say every single month. From a 2-hour filming session, you've probably been told to run ads. And if you have, you'll know that the average CPM on Meta sits somewhere between $15 and $20. And that's if your ads are good. A lot of people are paying significantly more than that. So what would it cost to get 1 million views through paid ads? Somewhere between $20,000 and $25,000. You can achieve that every month for free from 2 hours of filming. Not only are you getting free attention on your brand, but it's also better attention. 60 to 90% of views on Instagram come from non-followers. So not only do you reach new people, but every person who watches your organic content starts to know you, trust you, follow you. Now let me paint you a picture. 3 months from now, you've done exactly what I've just shown you. At the conservative numbers that we just ran, you've reached 3 million people. 3 million people who didn't know your name before, who now recognize your face, who've heard your thinking, who understand what you do and why you're the person to do it. And every single one of those pieces of content, every reel, every clip, every post, is pointing somewhere. Your landing page, your DMs, your webinar, your Typeform, whatever your pipeline looks like right now, all of that content is feeding directly into your ecosystem, generating conversations, leads, and clients. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. That still sounds impossible for me. And I hear you, because at the start of this video, I listed everything that you're already carrying. The fires, the pressure, the responsibility, the fact that your brain never switches off. You can barely find time to think about content, never mind editing and distributing over 360 pieces of it every single month. And you're right, you can't do all of that. But here's what I want you to understand. You don't have to. Everything I just described, the editing, the distribution, the scheduling, the strategy, the repurposing, that's what me and my team at GMS do for all of our clients every single month. You bring the 2 to 3 hours of filming and we build the machine around it. And we don't just promise the 3 million views, we guarantee them. 3 million new eyeballs on your content within 90 days, or we work for free. That's the commitment that we make to every single one of our clients so that they can keep running their businesses, keep putting out fires, keep doing what they can do better than anybody else. The reports land in their inbox at the end of every month. What went out, what's working, what we're doing more of. They stay informed without even being pulled in. They even have a live data dashboard built specifically for them, tracking where every single view has come from. And their pipeline gets fed consistently with new conversations, new leads, new clients, month after month, without having to add a single thing to their plate. If that sounds like something that you want installed into your business, there is a link below. Click it, fill in a few details about yourself and what you're building, and we can take it from there. For those of you that aren't interested, I hope you come away from this video with a different perspective on what this content game actually looks like. And for those of you that are ready to take over, let's build something unignorable together.